Cool.
Okay.
Sweet.
So don't fuck up on environment and magic spell. Got it!
I will try to help you when it comes down. I'm not going to totally cut you loose. What I'm saying is if the crit's gonna hit, the crit's gonna hit. The elemental steps on your head to make sure that you're dead.
Yeah,
I don't think Karrith is not known a crit on his head, but it's safe to say.
Never had a problem with that.
And that's including because I have another mechanic that's coming into play, so I really can't be nice with you guys much anymore. And you guys will see it as we begin playing.
All right.
No, you're ready, Captain.
All right.
I can't hear you. That's the SpongeBob joke.
Yeah. Aye, Captain.
Oh, it's not like that. It's all good.
All right.
All right.
Listen, my love.
So, where we last left our heroes, the Tree of Ravens, we went with Nyphix, who had managed to divine through dreams and through the worms in her body where the entrance to this strange cave was. And upon arriving at an empty field that we are pretty sure we had checked before, we saw nothing. But upon further investigation, Karrith stepped into the perfect spot and a doorway presented itself for him. With that, we were greeted by a man who had came to the front bearing a full plate of Alexandrian armor named Esil. He welcomed his new friends home and told them that he's so happy that his brothers and sisters are returning and that finally he can show them the light. Congratulations. There was a bit of infighting about who was going in and who was staying out of the cave, as Razzik is still very cautious about these worms, and Eelix didn't want to leave a man behind, because while it possibly could be absolutely peaceful out here, the worst thing could happen as well, and Razzik can be dealing with a bunch of stuff by himself. So Eelix and Razzik went back to the Knoll encampment to see if they can get some help, maybe drum up a small militia, if anything, to take care of Esil and get him out of the way. Meanwhile, Nyphix and Karrith began wandering through the through the worm base, the old worm ruin, with Esil, as he was describing what they've gone through, their religion, that they're worshipping Cork, and trying to make that they have a safe place for worship and to preach, as they're not welcome on the surface yet. They don't want to stress their time. With that, Karrith and Nyphix found a trap room that was deactivated with a bunch of dead bodies in it that Esil had referred to as garbage, things that they were not going to bother converting. And real quickly, we realized that those creatures were the adverse of the ones that we had found in the warehouse. These ones were ice-based spectral monsters. Afterward, Nyphix and Karrith began to hatch a plan, and with that, Nyphix had approached Esil to make a comment towards him about how they don't care that they're infecting all of these people. They're just doing what they feel like they need to do to spread themselves with no care for anybody. And Esil countered her with something that she couldn't deny. Were you forced to take your worms? Or did you act in such a way where self-defense was necessary that caused you to become infected with what you're referring to as a sickness, and what we believe is a gift? With no real retort, and Eelix and Razzik on their way back, the doors were opened. New guests were to be greeted by Esil, and as he headed up to the top to greet them, a fight broke out. We managed to get a bunch of the wormy monsters into the ice room, but after detonating it the first time, all of the monsters stopped and wouldn't proceed into the room any further. They were cautious, watching. As they began to pick at the back door, Razzik got to the back and blew an entire blast of ice out the back and froze a bunch more of them. And and they didn't advance in that direction anymore. With that, we had a gambit where we decided to try and bait more of them. And unfortunately, Nyphix was infected for her third round and started turning into one of these monsters. Karrith had pulled her out, and when the creatures realized that Karrith would try to sacrifice himself to defend his friend, they rushed out to give him a reason to sacrifice. And as he pulled out, they rushed in on him. As he watched Nyphix, unfortunately, bit it. The ones were learning during this fight what to and not to do. Each tactic would only work once. When we finally managed to rebuff the worms and find a moment of respite, we looked around and didn't see any of them. As we proceeded to try and go back to an old relic that we had found that mirrored something we saw in the warehouse with a little bit of a different accoutrement to it. Unfortunately, Karrith found himself on the business end of a tank as a muscular Alexandrian man reamed him into the wall and then split him like an egg on a stone chair. The group began fighting hard to defend him, and as Nyphix and Karrith ran south with Eelix, Razzik, and Scab trying to back them up, you got the monstrous man into the cryogenic chamber where you froze him solid. And at this point in time, we begin picking up the session with Eelix, Razzik, and Scab realizing something. As you hear this hissing and popping sound, you turn around at some of the dead bodies that you have behind you, the ones that were previously infected by worms and had succumbed to the cold. They are corroding from the inside out. They don't seem to be getting up or resurrecting in any way, but you watch as holes begin boring through their skin. And with that, Karrith and Nyphix. Nyphix, you see your friend laying on the ground, savoring the moment where he was almost toast. And you pulling the trigger that saved his life. Before you feel a pain rack within your body. An indigestion, almost. A feeling of burning in your chest.
Oh, that was close.
Guess with that amount of pain, Nyphix is just, she's going to crumble.
Nyphix, are you alright?
No.
I'm gonna get close, but not too close.
She's gonna kind of grab at her chest, but I guess with that amount of pain, there's not gonna be much to say other than just, it hurts.
I'll cast Detect Magic. See if I can see what's going on inside, maybe. If it's some sort of magical residue from the
Are you
worm.
next to me, or are you next to... Oh, okay, you're coming down, okay. I wasn't sure how far back you were.
Razzik, as you look at her with Detect Magic, you see the worms inside of her body are melting.
It looks like your worms are melting, yo. That's probably why it hurts.
Is that a good thing, or is...
Yeah. I honestly don't know. I guess we will have to see, as I don't think anybody can do anything about this. It's inside of her.
Were you guys able to help heal her?
I have no healing.
Yeah, I'm devoid of healing.
At the moment, Nyphix, it just feels like bad heartburn. And Eelix and Razzik, you know the bodies in the other room were severely infected for many, many days, which is why they're deteriorating so fast.
So, would that imply that she will deteriorate slowly?
Yeah, in time, she will melt from the inside out.
We need to find healing immediately. Can we wait until the worms are completely gone and then heal?
You get the feeling that the worms dead are the reason why she's burning. So once there's no more worms, she'll stop burning, but, you know, that's if she survives the event.
I mean, is this the kind of thing we could help with healing of some type?
I bet a healing will probably take the pain away. And not exerting herself as much.
Well, I believe Nyphix is the only one who can heal, so can you heal yourself, Nyphix?
Mm-mm.
No? Okay, well, let's ransack this place, pay attention for more wormies, and see if we can find anything that heals.
Razzik, am I still infected?
Look at Karrith.
Karrith is still infected. He was not hit by cold.
Yes, but I can uninfect you if you want.
No, I just wanted to make sure not to touch anyone.
Yes, make
Alright.
sure don't touch anything. Unless you want it to be wormy.
Nyphix,
Yeah,
can you stand?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think we need to find a way out of this place before any more of them come.
Taking a look at this room that you're standing in, it looks like a control matrix. Both for the cryogenic chamber and for a room that's sitting just off to the west. There seems to be two sets of controls and a generator in here.
Yeah, I was thinking about
can we
investigating
just-
further in this room.
I think most people should
I was thinking either tamper with the controls for the other room or destroy the generator entirely and then bolt.
That could work.
As you wander past Karrith, you take a glance inside and see a podium, a pedestal of some sort. And as you wander to the room, you see the vault, which stored the crystal that the Tree of Ravens was sent to take.
These wormy fuckers.
I'm gonna kind of investigate the room a little bit to make sure there's no traps or anything out of the ordinary that may affect us. (26)
There is nothing out of the ordinary inside this room, but you will know that it is almost as cold as like a walk-in freezer.
And there's nothing on the podium, there's just a place where it was.
It seems like there was a small containment unit that gripped the crystal from the bottom and had a glass that came in over top of it. If you investigate the podium with knowledge engineering, you might be able to get more information.
Probably not. No, the measly 7.
Stop.
From a 7, you'll take note that it seems the cold is emanating from this pedestal.
I could help you potentially.
Yeah, I think I'll come back out of the hallway and I'll say
Oh,
to
you're
the
in a.
group,
I'm
there's
sorry,
a
I thought you
podium
were
in
in
here.
the same room as us. My apologies.
No,
I didn't do that.
sorry, no worries. I would say something at this point. Pop back out and say, there's a podium in here. Looked like it was holding some type of device. Would any of you be able to take a look at it?
Yeah, I can take a look at it. Walk in there. I keep detect magic up, like I said, for as long as I have to.
All right.
Is the podium magical?
The podium has a few magic seals on it that were popped. Looks like by 4 different spellcasters.
What do you mean popped? Like broken?
Yep, they are no longer active. It would take 4 spellcasters incanting the same spell to reset them.
How big is this thing?
It is 15 foot by 15 foot, with the casing being a small 5 by 5 casing in the inside.
Alright, let me try knowledge engineering. That's a 14. Yeah.
Taking a look at the scuff marks around the outside of this device, you can tell that at one point in time it was seated in the ground, like it recesses. And you can also tell that the cold from it has not diminished. There are a couple of cold vents right by the top of the pedestal where the glass was at one point in time sitting before it was broken. That looks like it might have insulated it, but that's as much as you can gather from 14.
So there's
currently a
cold venting off of this thing?
I'm sorry, one more time?
There is cold venting off of this thing?
Yep, from the center, where the gem would be set. And it looks like there was glass that was insulating it, but it's laying shattered in the corner.
Have you seen anything like this before, Razzik?
I haven't. I assume... can I do a spellcraft to determine what spells were used?
Sure.
Alright, let's do that then. Let me see what I got for spellcraft. Okay.
Actually, I'd probably give you Knowledge Arcana or Knowledge Planes for this one.
Oh, okay, that would be better. Arcana's gonna be 12. I'm gonna roll both. This is Arcana. That's a 23.
Alright. So, with that Knowledge Arcana roll, you are able to determine that the seals that were placed on the side of this are locks. These locks serve a couple different functions. The first of which is very obvious, to seal something in, but the second is to drain. It's a drain spell that sits on top of that lock. And then the third is a dispersal spell. Essentially, the lock would drain whatever it was holding inside of it, and then it would disperse that magic through the unit to empower the lock in the prison itself. These locks are typically used in situations where you have like a very powerful arcane or divine spellcaster that you're looking to stop from doing arcane and divine shit. And furthermore, normally when something pops out of a seal like this, if there was somebody contained within it or something, the magic takes time to come back because it has to be redrawn from the area around it.
So this is like a cryogenic chamber?
Kind of. Imagine if you stuck a +5 Holy Avenger thing. When you pulled it out, it would be a +1 sword. And it would take time for it to build back up to being a +5 Holy Avenger.
Okay.
It'll grow as it's completing its task and doing the things it's supposed to do. It'll get stronger, but it has to achieve that strength.
Okay. So, do I think that the cold that's coming out of this thing is powerful enough to get rid of Karrith's worms?
Unfortunately, no. It's not concentrated enough.
Okay. Alright, well, I pass on all that knowledge. Do you want me to do... I can do a planes also, right?
Nope, that was a check. And you got the best information you could from
well,
it.
I failed on the planes anyway. Don't worry about it.
That's an aircraft carrier.
It's an aircraft carrier. I don't know, but I know. Alright, well, yeah, I pass out all that information, and I say, I don't think the cold in there is enough to kill your worms, Karrith. But it looks like this was meant to keep somebody or something inside. Alive in the cold for a long time.
Do you
Yeah.
think this potentially is where the origin of these worms came from?
There's nothing to suggest that, right?
Well, I mean, they are worshipping this place like some kind of monolith.
Right, but they're not. Are they worshiping this thing?
It didn't seem like they were coming over this way, but like chambers prior to it, it could be because there was a giant cryo chamber between them and this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Okay. So, I don't know if... Is there something we can do to, like, to destroy this thing? Or maybe is it better to leave it intact? Like, would I know that?
I think that's more of a party decision.
Alright, well then I'll put it to the whole group. Should we destroy this thing? Or should we leave it as it is?
I personally don't think we should be tampering with things we don't fully understand.
Yeah.
Well, you have a point there, but
We go to destroy
if
this, and it's a
if this
bad
is
idea.
something important to the worms, it might be worth destroying even if we don't know. However, they didn't
Until we
seem to-
know what it held, I suggest we leave it be.
Alright, that's the party's voice, so let's leave it be.
I think at this moment, this is where Karrith realizes these worms are going to be in his body for a long time if they
No,
ever have to return to this place.
I can take them out of you whenever you want. It's just gonna really suck for you.
We still need to, we still have a chance. We were, going to tamper with the blood of those hounds, remember?
Perhaps.
Something to think back to the Nogs.
I don't know enough about hematology to know the answer to this question, I guess.
I'm gonna go ahead and exit out of this room. And
Yeah,
regroup
those
with
carrots.
everyone.
Yeah.
Then I insist we need to get out of here as soon as possible. If there's nothing else here, we need to make our move.
I agree. This place has taxed me physically and mentally, and I'm nearly out of things.
Yeah.
Alright, let's make for the door then. We kill anything that gets in the way. Make sure not to touch it if you are uninfected, obviously. Oh, does this big dead thing have any loot on it? I don't know if we asked that question.
Worms!
Yeah, lots of worms.
Oh, yeah, well, you know, we can get a stick or something.
The worms inside this creature that's frozen are likewise frozen and are melting inside of it.
Interesting. I have detect magic up. Is it wearing any magical gear?
Yeah, the armor of Alexandria is enchanted.
Well, the armor's magical, but probably the only person who can get it is Karrith, and the worms inside that guy are dead. So, new armor, Karrith?
Sorry, Dark Souls music just started as soon as you said that, and I was worried.
I'd be a little worried too.
Right, as soon as he said that, I'm like, then heard it just choir come into play. I was like, I don't know about that. That didn't sound too heroic.
Go ahead, don the armor. See what happens.
Done it! See what happens! Can I investigate and see if this would even work for me? I didn't think it would.
It is a magical +2 half plate. So it would definitely work. Once you put a magical plate of armor on, it will shrink or grow to the side of its new wielder.
Oh, okay. I mean, I don't see the harm in it at the moment, but I will investigate it still. Just to make sure there's nothing else weird with it. 19 Liz.
Reasonable.
I thought there was always investigate in here, but maybe I'm wrong.
No, that's 5A.
Yeah.
You're looking for appraise.
Yeah. So that's just flat 19.
There doesn't seem to be anything crazy else about the armor. Mildly damaged from the worms stitching themselves into it. But the damage doesn't seem to meddle with the enchantment at all.
Okay.
Can I detect
Then,
what the enchantment is?
It's just a +2 enchantment.
I mean, it's +2 armor, bro, and we can get it fixed up.
Well, I guess I'll go ahead and pick that up, take it off him.
Okay. As you start taking off the armor, you will watch as you pull the half plate up over the top of him, and his arms fall off, and a whole plethora of wormy maggots fall out from the underside of the armor as they slosh upon the floor like a tidal wave.
I jump backward.
They are indeed frozen. They sound like infinite amounts of marbles being dropped on the floor. But you are now holding the plate, and like some kind of macabre scene, you see this smiling man's head laying in his own pelvic bowl.
Gross.
He won't be needing it anymore.
Nope. I'm gonna keep detect magic up, so if we pass anything else magical on our way out this bitch, please don't hesitate to let me know.
Will do, but I think you got most of the magical stuff in here.
Good.
Yep, that looks like all the magical stuff that I had sitting around. So with that, you will proceed to exit out of this dungeon. And as you all head out of the ruin, you will see the countless number of slain gnolls at your feet, all of which have a worm infection that is continuing to grow. These worms getting ready to gift these gnolls with new, almost mockeries of life.
I think not. I immediately start casting force missiles on each one of them, blasting them with cold damage.
I will also alert you that it's kind of hard not to notice this, but in the distance, probably about a mile off, you see a circular golden blue blimp flying in your direction. An airship. From the colors of it, it is an airship from Alexandria.
No.
Maybe put that armor away. There's a thought. And let's get the fuck out of here immediately.
Okay.
I wish we had like some sort of trap we could leave behind to fuck them up when they get here. Maybe we could head into the forest and steal their fucking airship. That would be nice.
I think right now we're in no condition to steal anything or take anything. We need to just bail. Bail and recover.
Alright, well then let's do it then.
All right.
Nyphix, you still okay?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Scav,
And-
do you still have bolts?
Look, still have one of their bolts. I'll insert bomb, multiple down.
That's not how airships work, by the way. He would be shooting.
I know. He was like, it's just like Like, I'll just let you keep that knowledge in your head like that. All right. Eelix, you said you talked to the gnolls
Yeah.
once before, that they were helping you?
Yeah, that's how we got in here. We got a bunch of gnolls to come with us and kind of storm the building, so to speak.
Okay. And you said you were able to collect the blood of those dogs, correct?
Did we do that?
Yep, you collected a bit of the blood.
Okay, then yes.
Okay. Then we need to leave the area to the best that I can think, and we need to just rest. But if you think we could do anything more with these gnolls, if they could be any aid, I would say those...
Oh, I see where you're aiming at.
Maybe it would be something worthy of them, and they may assist you in some way.
Well, we know things in that forest are weird in the daytime and murder you, so let's not go there. If we have to, there's lots of tall grass around here, let's just hide in the grass.
Eelix, from past instances, airships from Alexandria normally have generals on them. Generals are bad news, and they'll probably come and scout out the area, if anything, but really depends on what they're doing out here.
Okay. I'm definitely going to pass that information on to the rest of the party.
I'm sorry, can you say that one more time?
Alexandrian airships have generals on them. They are specifically high-ranking command vehicles. What one's doing out here would be kind of an anomaly in itself because you weren't followed. So it might not be out here for you, but if it is, it's going to scour the area.
Well, whatever you fine folk think we should do is what we should probably do.
Okay.
Any idea on direction or plan?
I heard just staying in high grass. But
Well, I'm saying if we,
since
of
we're
course,
around-
the daytime is dangerous, right? So we should try to maybe not go into the forest while the sun's out.
So your idea is rest until morning, then go in.
Rest until evening, and then go through the forest, and maybe we can, say thank you to the gnolls or something, and let them know how they fared.
The gnolls are good-natured party people in the morning and ravenous beasts at night. So.
Oh, I was under the impression it was inversed. Okay,
Yeah.
well then, let's go. I guess we can go then. Never mind.
However, it is approaching close to evening, so if you're want to bunk up there, you're probably going to have a problem. So resting would kind of be the best alternative for the moment.
All right.
Then let's find a place to rest them. Go ahead and start looking around.
All right. Are you going to be sticking close to this area, or?
I suggest that we do, just to see what the airship is doing.
Yeah.
Far enough out that we can't be immediately seen and can get away if need be.
The camera shoot them.
Hopefully it won't come to that, but if it does, Scab can shoot.
All right. So pull your tokens into the forest. And and we shall begin revealing the next part.
Okay.
As you await and kind of hang out, trying to see if you could find a good camp, you get a spot that's a pretty sizable distance away from here, but still close enough where you're going to be in the area for the airship when it lands. And when it does, it lands within a hair's breadth. That's not right.
Hairbreadth into the ocean.
Right? Like, what the frick?
It landed on us. Smush.
Okay. So this is a terrible oval design, but it works out for what I'm after. Just imagine it's an oval. And I'm going to pull you assholes farther away. Cool. You watch as the airship docks right at the mouth of the cavern, where it would be if it wasn't submerged in the ground. As Razzik took the time to eliminate the worms from the null bodies at the cost of, unfortunately, a lot of his spells. You'll see the men hop out and begin scouring the area, taking a look for whatever anomalies might be in this direction, before a man comes off of the airship. This man's hair is cut pretty close to his head. He's wearing brilliant gold radiant armor, heavily enchanted, a sword with wings on his left side, a shield on his arm. And he sits with his hands behind his back, pacing rather poshly, as if he owns this place. He begins taking a quick survey of the area, and as one of the lieutenants wander up to him, you'll hear, General Raylis, I don't think they were here for much long ago. They're probably still somewhere within the area. Well then, expand our search. Let's see if we can't find our little rats. They had to have come by here. How can you be positive? We didn't receive any intel. That is not your concern. What the upper brass tells me, I relay to you. Now go. Spread out and search. Yes, Captain. The knights will begin scouring the area, taking up positions of spotting, and trying their best to locate what has possibly happened in these woods, in this area, what killed all of these gnolls. And as Commander Raylis wanders over towards the gnolls and takes a look at all the bodies of frozen gnolls, you'll notice that the cave mouth opens to greet him. He nods towards it, sparing it a small smile. And then you watch him head in to go and survey the damage as it closes behind him. Everybody make a stealth check.
What a time for a 7 to show up.
Yeah, that's good. 18 plus.
Dim light or regular?
We're getting closer to dusk, so dim.
Yeah, dirty 20. Let's go.
Same.
I think 8.
20.
28.
Hot. So Karrith is Karrith's being a bit noisy, but the group has succeeded. You watch as these men scour this area, looking hide and tail to find out where you guys have gone. But before too long, they give up. And as they do, you take note of one more thing. General Raylis emerges from the mouth of the cave. And as his men come to salute him as he is coming on, he is carrying something in his hands.
Can we tell what it is?
Go ahead and make a perception check.
18.
It's the device that Scab broke.
Interesting.
A new lock. No, sir. They must have left. We'll get them next time. But they were definitely here. We found a campfire. Doused. Seems that they must have set up camp here last night. Good. I want you to fan out the search. We're going to make sure that we cut them off with the pass. I want to make sure that we have men stationed in Shent and Torlay. All right. We'll get everything all set. Good. Back on the ship. Everybody piles on. And they proceed to leave, heading in the direction of Shent. Leaving apparently one guy behind.
Wait, guys!
Wait!
Said it was going night. How far are we from that town?
You're not terribly far from Shent, actually.
Well, like in hours.
About half a day.
Alright, so they're probably not going to be back until at least sometime in the night. If we sleep immediately, we can get up, deal with the one guy, take whatever he took out of there so they don't have it, and then sabotage their airship. That ought to be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Eelix, you have some contacts in Torlay.
Really?
Yeah, you, if you remember, Neil was talking to you that you were part of a boating crew as one of your personalities.
Oh, yes.
Which I'm also imagining you know a couple other people that are dead. And there are at least 2 retired Tree of Ravens members who were in Torlay, if they weren't rounded up and assassinated as well.
Okay. So I might know some people.
Ooh.
Don't know if they're
Okay.
still going to be around, but we can go looking for them.
So what are you insisting we just leave now then?
Probably a good idea.
I nurse my shoulder a bit and I go, alright. If we have to keep moving, we'll keep moving.
All right.
All right, so south of Torlay.
South.
You all begin to head on your journey, and within about 3-4 days' time, you find yourself at the city walls of Torlay. It's a very beautiful stone set wall. There is, unfortunately, an offsetting, as there is a ramshackle mud and stick caked hut outside of it that has been long since abandoned. But the city of Torlay, as always, has a couple guards stationed outside this waterport trading town. You also see a couple cannonballs that have yet to be removed from the nearby area, as this town was attacked by pirates in the past, and see Oisin Manor that sits up on top of the hill, which was what was raided when the pirates came. The town itself is known for festivals and races and a bunch of different party time affairs. And what's more, a rather active underbelly. Specifically, members of the Clasp are here. This would be a group that Eelix would probably have some with, as the Clasp has a lot of dealings with some of the races that are happening in the nearby area, rigging them and such to try and gain some more money and some favor. This is also where you'll find the Rose which was robbed by the Gnolls in the woods. A lovely little eatery that doesn't just serve wine and cheeses, but an assortment of sandwiches and meats, and a good place to rest your head. But first things first, it is still Esilian territory, which means you're all fugitives. How would you be trying to get in? Except for Eelix, because, you know, they don't know who he is anymore.
Yeah. I guess we still have that leather gear that we could kind of like hide our faces a little bit, obstruct us. What are your guys' suggestions?
No.
I'll go with
Just
whatever
no.
Karrith wants to do.
Do you want us to wait for you to get in contact with someone you know, and then they find us a way in?
Could do that. Go off on my own, check things out. Meet up here in about an hour.
Yeah.
Suggest that's a better idea. I mean, I'm kind of dragging here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For Nyphix, you feel your body has begun trembling. Heat has not stopped, but it's only intensified. And it's now kind of led on to tremors. You've been healing up as you've been going, so the hit point damage isn't insane. But each new dissolved worm is just more of your body being dissolved at one time.
And that was one hell of an infection.
All right. So with that, Eelix parts ways with the group and begins to head towards the town. You get past the city gates unmolested. They simply ask you for a passport. And you have like 17 of them, so it's not that hard. And give them a little sleight of hand to get past. And within that, you are within the city limits. You see the streets abuzz with people and see a couple familiar faces that are chilling out over by some chariots currently being satcheled up with horses, including a group of wily pixies that have traditionally tried to win the race by recruiting other members of adventuring groups onto their ride, the Pixie Duster. There are a couple of bars in the area, as well as several dive spots. What would you like to do?
Check the dive spots first.
All right. You pass into one of the first dive spots, which is very aptly named the Bottom Barrel. As you proceed to wander in, you see an assortment of people just kind of getting their drink on, eating sandwiches, keeping their business to themselves, and a table that has been carved with its own map on top of it. A map that you are very familiar with, of essentially loot drops, hidden areas where adventuring groups had gone out and met their end, or certain members of the guild had gone and reported treasure but were unable to get further into any dungeons or ruins. And amongst some of those familiar faces, you see John Epcot, who the minute he takes a look at you, he goes, "It's you. Brings you back to my hole in the wall."
I'm gonna walk over, take a seat and start going through, trying to think of a way to, what should I do here? Well, been traveling around a bit lately, and, might need a little, call in a couple marks, so to say.
Marks cost a lot of coin, from what I hear. Your group's been routed.
That's why
Most
I'm
of
calling
them.
in the. Well, that's why I'm calling in the marks. I'm not looking to spend the coin. I'm more like trying to balance out everybody else's side of the ledger.
Interesting. You watch as he sits there and plays with a coin between his fingers. As he goes, "What are your marks?"
Now, is he looking for the favors in the past that I'm calling in to clear now, or what it is I'm looking to have done now?
What are you looking to have done? And then by proxy, what favors have you done that you would use to counterbalance this wave?
So what did we agree our overall, like, end game was here?
The end game itself is kind of nebulous. You have two ideas. One is get to the bottom of this whole worm fiasco, which seems to be taking the highest spotlight.
Yeah.
Well,
I meant like from the group, like what did we decide? What the big goal for coming here was like, what was the final consensus?
I think it was more or less to gather some information, equipment. But if anybody else has any ideas, go for it.
Because that's all I remember was get some equipment, get some information.
Yeah, I thought we were going to also try to find a place to huddle down low, recover,
Okay.
and then be on our way.
So I'm gonna relay that over to him. Like, look, what I'm gonna need right now, honestly, is just a safe house and some gear. And if you remember, a couple of years back, I did that one job for you-know-who doing that thing for free.
I'm aware.
So I just
As
need
you
to-
know, your kind brings trouble.
That's why I want to be out of sight, out of mind, get the things I need, and get out of town as quickly as possible.
Were you looking to sell that object that Malik brought into town? I think I managed to find a buyer.
I'll have to leave that up to the rest of them, but I'm not discounting it as a possibility.
Well, we could probably get them in through the underground passage. Hasn't been much activity there lately. Links up to Oyson Manor, though you're subject to whatever foul creatures have infested that place recently.
Well, we need to
Past
clear it
that,
out. We're no
don't think
strangers
they-
to clearing out areas.
I'm not sure what it would be worth for us clearing that out. Oyson Manor has a sordid history. For one, there's that doomsayer that sits in front of it. And while a bit annoying, keeps chirping about the pirates coming back if the manor's ever rebuilt. And what's more, the manor's residents are not exactly staying quiet. People are hearing screams and cries in the middle of the night, and we get a lot of offers, but you can imagine people are gun-shy about that. As for room and board, some places here at the bottom barrel. The gods leave us relatively unfucked. However, if what I'm hearing is true, you might want to go and seek Nails. The gods have been looking for him pretty heavily. I've yet to find him. You two had a lot in common back in the day. And as an old raven, who knows? Might have some tricks up his sleeve.
Where was the last time he was seen?
You know him, he likes his sand. Tends to favor the beach, and for the most part has been wandering around as an old beggar. Man who's sitting on retirement pay, if you will. Who knows if he'll actually be worthy of the information, or maybe all those knocks on the noggin he's taken have finally gotten the better of him.
Well, I guess there's only one way to find out, huh?
If it helps any, he sold me something recently. And he reaches under the bar and puts a short sword in your direction. A short sword with a pommel that has the seal of the Tree of Ravens on as the pommel.
Uh-huh.
His old blade.
You mind if I hold on to this for a little bit?
Sure, if you lose it, you're paying for it.
We'll get it back to you. About getting the rest of my crew over here to at least to the bottom barrel. What's the easiest way to do that?
Undercroft to Voice and Mana is going to be your best option. I hear they haven't had a wine shipment in a while.
So you're saying we need some barrels and a cart.
Something like that. You'll know when you get there. You remember that Oyson Manor is burned to the ground. It's not active anymore.
Yeah.
So the clue is definitely something else.
Yep. Okay. Where's the easiest entrance to the Undercroft from out of town?
The Undercroft would be through Oyson Manor. If you go to Oyson Manor and
Okay.
you...
So that's
Yeah.
the out of town, and the Undercroft was going to get us into here.
Yep, Oyson Manor sits on the outside of town. It used to be the kind of like the mayor's manor. They were here up until they got shelled by pirates.
Yeah, I just misunderstood. I thought that I for some reason was thinking the manor was in town, and we were going to be going from out of town through the Undercroft into it in town, exiting there. Okay. So I'm going to take that short sword. I'm going to stow it out of sight on me underneath my cloak. And, all right, well, I'll be back to return this to you a little bit later after I find Nail.
We'll be seeing you. How many rooms should I be prepping?
How many you got? 1 or 2 would be great.
I can see about 2.
If not, 1's good.
Should I let Malik know you're in town?
No, I'd say let me go get a hold of him as well. He might be able to help me find Nail. Where's he hanging out at the moment?
Keeping low. I'm mostly down in the lower quarter of the Merchants District.
All right. Well, I'll let him know when I get back. I'll go find him. Till then, keep everything quiet. We don't want the guards getting on us.
Will do.
All right. With that, I'm going to head back to the group, or at least the rendezvous point.
You meet back with your group, and with the group, before Eelix gets back, is there anything you guys would like to do?
I think in this moment I'm more just like trying to keep eyes around and make sure nothing's going on, keeping my distance from everybody. Potentially just checking in on Nyphix.
And Nyphix and Razzik.
And just kind of keeping
I'm
an eye
walking
on the area.
behind Karrith. I'm walking behind Karrith because worms. And I'm continuing to keep the detect magic up, and I'm checking for worms on anyone around us.
You'll see a few merchant caravans come and go from this area. Nobody looks wormy yet. No one's looking squiggly. But who knows what the town may hold. Before too long, Eelix will rejoin with the group.
What'd you
Awesome.
figure out?
Well, we can get into town through the Undercroft over at the manor. That's going to be the easy part. I got us rooms there, or a room. Wasn't able to get us gear per se, but there is a fence if we want to sell that thing that we picked up. Nail might be in town as well, over on the beach. I'm gonna show this sword that I picked up while I was in town. He saw a good reason to sell this though. Probably, you know him. And then there's the other thing. Now, so this other thing, the thing is about this, we just need to play this one really smart. And we might be walking into a bit of a situation, or we might not. But Malik might be in town, or is in town.
What?
Yeah.
Malik, like.
Yeah, like Malik he's in town. I got generally whereabout he's stationed himself for the time being. And he should be ignorant to our arrival. I somewhat trust the person I got this information off of, but they didn't seem to know that there had been a split or anything between us and him.
You kept it that way?
Oh, yeah. He asked if they should let him know that we were in. I let him know that, no, man, I'll go find him when we get into town, but with everything going on, since he does know that we're on the run, it would probably be best to keep the information of us coming into town under wraps, lest a guard or somebody we don't want hearing that we're in town is in town.
Do you trust this person?
Scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah.
3.
Okay, well then you should assume that somebody will be told that we're here.
Well, the thing is, I mean, it's always been a transactional relationship, right? And they owe me enough that I think that honestly, I don't think they know about the split. But they also owe me enough to know to keep their mouths shut at this point in time. I can make their life really interesting. And them being tied back to us in any way, shape, or form, getting the guards on us is not going to end well for them with the heat that I can pull down. So I trust them to keep their mouths shut as long as the transaction is beneficial.
So if I owed you a great deal of money and I found a way to take you off the board, I would take you off the board.
He doesn't exactly owe me money. More like some favors.
Who's he with?
He was just independent, right, Spike?
He's an independent with his hands in many of the different guilds, including Clasp and the Road. He basically is the liaison between all of these guilds.
He's a fixer.
But he's not in the guilds himself.
Yeah, he's a fixer.
He's a fixer.
Yeah. Fixers don't burn their assets. It's bad for business. It would have to be insanely lucrative.
I think, yes, he's saying that.
Well, what are the bounties on us right now?
Walk away from this conversation for a second.
Yeah, wouldn't there be bounties on us by now?
There are definitely bounties on all of the members of the team of the Tree of Ravens.
Yeah.
So if there are bounties on us, how much in total would you get for how many people did you say you brought with you?
Here's the thing, right? So, yeah, there's bounties. This guy works for criminals every day, all day, who have bounties on them. If he starts turning people in for cash, his business is going to evaporate rapidly. Now, not only that, not only are they not going to trust him and come to him to get assets to do work, but because of what they know, we actually have more allies in the other criminal organizations and local guilds and not local guilds if they open their mouth and do anything to us, because then all we have to do is get out with our skin and let them know that he squealed. And then all the guilds and all the syndicates in the area will descend on him like dogs on a stake.
By the way, Tree of Ravens hunting is open. You have some wanted posters. Each member of the Tree of Ravens is worth 10k, except for Malik, who is the still highest ranking member of the Tree of Ravens. He's worth 25k.
Yeah.
Out of character, remind me, because I'm stoned and I don't fucking recall. Who's the dick who betrayed us? Which
Malik.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we have an opportunity, we should absolutely subdue this person, take them somewhere far from town, and do unspeakable things to them. And I am in no way kidding, and I will not in any way deal with anyone trying to say we shouldn't do these things. Don't fucking test me.
I mean, if that tickles your pickle.
No, betrayal never tickles my pickle. In fact, it enrages it. So, I'm going to do terrible things to this person.
All I'm saying...
That's out of character?
Huh?
No, that part is in character.
Okay, because you said out of character, and that's why.
Oh, yeah, I just couldn't remember the name. That was the part that was out of character. My bad.
Yeah. So, what I'm saying is, I think we can trust the fixer to keep their mouth shut, at least for a little while. Now, this is a very temporary thing. They're not going to keep us up for a long period of time. We got a day or two max before we need to make ourselves scarce.
Let's get the rest we need, and then kill them. Kill Malik in the most brutal way imaginable.
By any chance, do you know of an alchemist in town?
Do I?
You and Karrith would know of a couple in town. One of the most popular that you guys would know is the Silken Pestle, which is a pretty. I would say it's like the CVS of alchemy places. You're going to pay a crap ton, but they have the drugs.
Mm-hmm.
There are underground chemists for both the Clasp and the Road. They both have their own chemists, and you could probably get cheap stuff, but that costs favors.
And I'm sure I could pull somebody through the fixer if I need to.
And as for Karrith, there is an old friend of yours that moved here. Somebody from way back in the past. And if you can happen to get your eyes or ears on Jezza Vazorin, you might be able to have her help you out.
Love that.
Okay. And you said about the alchemist out loud, right?
You what?
Because I know I walked away from the conversation. Did
Oh, yeah.
Sweet Mama say that out loud
Yeah.
about the alchemist?
Oh,
Uh-huh.
her. Go.
I think we can try to get some eyes and ears and stuff.
God, you stink dog.
I trust them a little more than some chancy chains.
Well, then I suggest we get a move on to rest and see if we can't work on possible antidote with that hound's blood before we take off out of town.
All right. So to Oysen Manor.
It's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
You guys take the trip up the hill to Oysen Manor, and if I could find something better than the town of Hobbiton. Too much.
I was gonna say. Dial it down a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like I've got to have Frail kick this songbot, and then me bring my songbot in here, because I have the paid version.
Mm-hmm.
We can have, like, so many more tunes.
Okay.
As you guys proceed to go to the burned out relic of Oysen Manor, you will see the cannonballs that absolutely litter the place that is now also currently used for testing out drag racing and chariot racing. There are a few people here that are currently practicing for the upcoming event. And what's more, from this hill, you can spy a familiar carriage. Not in this general area. I put it in the chat for you, Nate.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
But you guys can spot a familiar carriage, and probably the way how Malik had gotten here. You see Kurz's wagon that is stationed a pretty clear distance from the town, but enough away that it's not going to get hit by any roaming birds. It sits on the opposite side of the town, hidden within a small output, a little outcropping of forest over there. At the moment, he doesn't seem to be present in the vehicle, and it would take you a bit of time to get there anyway. Warning, but two of Malik's team is here. You, with the face, you jumped into my lap, and then you come at me with your bullshit. With your bullshit. Indeed. Fuck off. And he'll be back in 5 minutes. He's as bad as fucking Duality's dogs.
My dogs have been very distracting today. I have one underneath my feet messing with my cables at all points in time, and you can see the big guy behind me. Oh wait, on the couch. Just
Hello!
they're both on the couch now. Yep. He noticed I said something about him, so now he's gonna come over and bug me again. He's been coming over and putting his teeth on my arm and pushing because he knows it gets my attention.
I mean, at least he's not noodling your ear with his tongue. That gets weird.
Oh,
My
God.
brother's dog does that.
Wait till I try to sleep and then yeah. Oh.
Give him a blah.
The worst is when his tongue goes up my nose while I'm sleeping. Ugh. Oh, I don't know why.
It's always on an inhale.
Yep.
Every time.
Mm-hmm. Be like your
Well,
sister.
if-
Go lay down.
You were inhaling and the tongue was so close that it got vacuumed into your nose.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happens.
Oh, get the fuck off.
And sure enough, also as promised, you will see the Doomsayer, who is currently yelling and chastising the people who are practicing their drift skills, going, "Don't you understand? If you keep playing around here, the pirate lords will come back. The Blackthorn pirates will come, and they will burn this whole town to..."
Oh yeah, they warned me about these guys. They're a little.
The Rosebow pirates, sorry. But nobody stops you about getting closer to the mansion door. This rundown 3-story mansion that has many different new holes placed in it. And as you go to open up the door, it is locked. Though there are so many holes in this building, you could probably just pick one and step through, honestly.
Giggity. Anybody want to find a different hole?
Yeah, I'll go look around. I need to take a breather anyway, as he just goes ahead and starts walking counterclockwise around the building.
Alright. Karrith, as you begin your journey to go around the building, you hit the corner and turn and see 3 more pivot holes on the side, and then see somebody step through the second hole. A small girl, couldn't have been any older than like 7. You didn't get a good look at her, but the way how she was dressed, she was dressed like a servant. Her clothes, well maintained, are have a little bit of splatter on them here and there from something. The quick view, it could have been mud, but you're not sure per se.
Hey, I'll be right back.
Sure. But they were definitely noble servants' clothes.
And they stepped in to go inside the mansion, not out of it.
Correct.
Okay. I'm gonna try to keep my distance, but then start going towards that direction. Try to follow them in.
Alright. As you keep your distance and get to the side passage, you peer in to try and find them, and you see this little girl skipping down the pathway. She's got red skin and ram-like horns, with almost like ashen brown hair. And the way how she's dancing as she skips through, it's almost a little float in her step. And almost like she's been here before. You'll watch as she finds a door and reaches up to it and proceeds to open it up, and then walks through and closes it behind her with both of her hands. And then you hear a small laugh echoing in the manor. The sound of a young girl chuckling.
I feel like my better judgment is getting the best of me. I'm gonna continue up to that door and knock on it.
You walk over to the door, now stepping into the manor, and head over to that door and knock. Nobody comes to call. Instead, you are treated with footsteps, slow and monotonous, and the sound of a clicking. If I had to imitate the sound, it sounds
I'm gonna try to open the door slowly.
as you go to open the door, it's locked. And what's more, the doorknob is hot. It doesn't burn you, but it's warmer than it should be, and this area is inside.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and just take note of that. I understand what's happening here. And
You also,
Say-
from here, can see the...
Oh my goodness!
All right, you're getting body slammed. No, we've had 3 talks now. It's body slam time.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Welcome back.
I made fish for dinner, and you have to clean the air fryer immediately, or otherwise it will stink like fish forever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also, ow, my back. Stupid. That sucked. Anyway, I'm sorry. What did I miss anything important?
Nothing too crazy at the moment. I just been following somebody, and they went into a door, closed it, and they set up a bit of a childish trap to stop from people being able to enter that room if they try to. Bit of a Home Alone effect.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna go ahead and let them be. But I'll wait until Spikes get back to the comment.
Okay, we're just gonna do that. I locked him in the room with my wife, and now I gotta reorganize my table and
Okay. Practically just push it along here. I just merely say through the door, don't mean you any harm, I'll be making my leave. And step back out to go and regroup with the others.
All right. And what I was trying to say before I was rudely interrupted by poorly, you can see the door that leads back to your party from where you're standing. You are in like the main hallway of the manor.
Okay.
And
I'm gonna go ahead and head to that door then.
as you wander over to toward the door, you also can't help but notice the splashes of blood that are painting the walls everywhere here. The blood itself has long since dried, and the bodies long since decayed. You open up the door, and there is your party there.
Don't mind the mess.
Never do. Oh, looks like somebody had fun in here.
Eelix, I thought you said we were welcome.
When we get through the Undercroft.
Right.
Undercroft.
Forgot about the Doomy guy outside, and then I realized what information, because they told me about the people that were inside, right? The loonies.
The people who are inside are as the guy was referring to, are not loonies. They're the manor's residents who don't seem to be finding rest.
Okay, that's right. It's the Doomsayers outside. They're a little loony.
Yep.
Yeah, so about the people inside.
You say this now.
Yeah, see, you kind of walked away because I mentioned a certain name, and like we just need to get into town. But they might be a little bit of an issue, just a little, because
Eelix.
they might be the leftovers of the party you're seeing inside here. Yeah, so we might need to clear this place out from the restless corpses of its previous inhabitants.
Eelix.
Maybe we can get through without doing it.
If I'm counting, I have about 3 force missiles left, and then I got a fucking nothing.
You've
Yeah.
rested since you got here.
Short rest,
Oh.
right?
Yep, you guys have rested at least 3 times before you got here.
Yeah, because it was a 4-day
Oh, I
trip.
have my.
So
We
that
have
would
our
be the
spells back
equivalent of
here.
a short rest or a full rest.
Full rest. You guys had a long rest.
All right. Oh, never mind then.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, if that's what we got to do, that's what we got to do.
Yeah, a lot on my mind. It slipped.
And
Don't make
as you guys are having this conversation, you will hear hurried footsteps running at you, followed by a very troubled woman going, "Please, please, don't!" And then a gunshot, and you watch the woman fall from where she was, a bullet ripping through her head, and she lands directly in a body that was on the ground. And then you hear it again.
Kind of just on repeat. Same thing.
Seems like it.
Yeah.
Almost like the mansion is replaying its final night.
I think if we don't mess with it, we should be okay. But we really shouldn't dawdle.
Yeah, I agree. Let's move.
And
I
don't touch
think
anything
any of
strange.
us- I don't think any of us are equipped to handle ghosts.
And with that, Nate, you'll hear the familiar sound of that girl calling out now. Sen! Sen! Where are you?
Leave it alone.
Eelix,
Just not our
How
monkey,
do-
not our circus.
how do you expect me, of all people, to rest in a house?
We're not resting
With-
here. We're traveling through the Undercroft to get into town.
Hmm.
We're not stopping. We're just passing through. And we can do nothing for that, more so than we could for the spectral repeater back there. Anyway, I think the Undercroft's this way.
And you'll watch as Eelix starts to head towards the center of the manor and then dips to the right of the double staircase. Taking a look at some doors that sit rested inside that staircase on the side. Roll a percentile dice to see if you find it on the per scout.
Just Eelix?
Yeah, just Eelix. He's the one who's looking. Everybody else is just kind of chilling.
18.
Nope, no luck. It's a broom
So-
closet.
I don't know if you're going high or low.
High, typically.
Oh,
But
okay.
no luck. You found a broom closet. And a body. There is definitely a dead body in here.
That's not it.
Eelix, do you care enough to roll a heal check, or are you, nope, and just closing it again?
Oh, I'm not investigating. Like I said, not my monkey, not my circus. We're getting into town. I'm a little
right.
single-minded at this point in time.
I think Karrith is kind of stuck in his own head at the moment because he watched the massacre happen at the Tree of Ravens.
Am I rolling this again?
Yep.
76.
You find a doorway that sits behind that staircase, and it leads down to what appears to be some sort of, some type of cellar.
Think I found it. Echo.
Echo.
And the echo returns to you.
Yeah, I think this is it.
Well, onward and downward, I suppose.
Anybody have and everybody here can see in the dark.
I cannot. I'm a human.
Frail human eyes.
I think Karrith is also human.
No, I think
Yeah.
half elf.
Yeah.
I'm half human. I'll go ahead and check. because I think it's just dim conditions, really. Low light vision. Just dim light. I can't see in the dark.
Oh, because I's a dusk elf. Torches?
Also, Eelix, you definitely saw something down there, and it didn't look like a ghost, ethereal, spooky. It looked real.
Hmm.
And you even heard the plodding footsteps yourself. They were heavier than the sounds of a thaumaturge.
Got it. Wait, a thaumaturge? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I think thaumaturge is the one that makes booming sounds or something like that. That's fake. Haunting sounds, if you want to go from Pathfinder.
Okay. Of course, I'm going to tell everybody that, like, hey, there's something down there. Just be prepared. But don't get don't freak out and attack anything if we can at all help it on the way through.
All right. So we're all traveling through, following after Eelix.
Very, very reluctantly.
I'm going to ready the ability to cast Mage Armor, like immediately.
I think
All
Karrith
right.
is still looking at that blood portion of the room and the corpse.
Karrith, roll a heal check.
Heal check, you said?
Yep.
That's just 15.
All right. So everybody else proceeds to head down while Karrith is staying up on the first floor. And as you go down, you hear several bodies and see people moving around. Go ahead and make a stealth check, everybody else.
Nat
Nice.
20.
I got a 16, I think.
All right.
That's a 10.
Nyphix,
Yeah, I got 16.
Nyphix, you find yourself a bit shaken up as you're proceeding to wander through here. And you're being helped along by Eelix and Razzik, who are maintaining a pretty good stealth. And you take note that down here, what's wandering around aren't ghosts, but undead. Zombies once more risen from the bodies of the deceased. And weirdly, they're not creepy, crawly, moving around zombies. They almost seem to be imitating their lives at the last moment of impact. Before everything failed. Before they died. And soon enough, you find yourself in the wine cellar with these large oak casks, almost as big as chariots themselves, obviously built into the home.
And this is how we're getting into town. And I'm going to go and look for a way to open up these casks.
All right. Go ahead and roll a perception check.
Perception, you say? $17 plus something. Plus 8. So 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. 25.
25. Sure enough, you find one of the spigots proceeds to twist in an odd way and then twist free. Almost tightening further before it cracks, and you hear a split, and the oak cask opens.
Well, let's make sure we close this on our way in.
Do I know that Karrith is or is not with us?
Yep, you can take note that Karrith is lagging behind.
I'm gonna mention to Eelix that, maybe we ought to, I don't know, wait, or would
Yeah.
you want me to go get him?
I think I had the best stealth roll of everybody. If that's still valid, I think I'll take that and go up and get him.
We never did anything to break it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, sure. Yes. Is it...
It's more of a spike thing than anything.
What?
Is my stealth still good enough to go get Mr. I'm staring at the blood stain and drag them down? Or do I gotta roll another stealth?
It's good enough to go up to find out he's not there anymore.
Alright.
And real quick, we'll cut over to Karrith. As you start trying to follow that one voice, you eventually find her, the lost tiefling girl, who seems to be calling out for somebody repeatedly. Sin! Sin! Where are you? And then something cuts through, singing the clicking. Hoist the sails off to sea, once more upon the ocean gleam. I find my bounty high and dry, a manor where the pigs will ride. Boom! Wherefore art my little jewel? And you hear these footsteps creeping closer to the girl, before a little red-headed girl comes out and joins her friend. Not much older, but definitely a noble, and definitely with features you recognized on the corpse. They hold hands and begin to run down this hallway. I see you. And with that, a trail of blood starts splashing down the hall. And as the little red-headed girl tries to pull the tiefling into the room, the tiefling stops, pushes the redhead in, shuts the door, props a chair up against it, and holds it with her body. Oh. You don't play fair, do you, Bobby? You can't have her. I won't let you take her. I don't think that's your choice. He grabs her by the neck and in an instant snaps it like a twig and throws her to the side. As he moves the chair and opens the door, he looks at the little girl who is inside, staring at him, and goes, "Do you know who I am?" As a giant grin crosses his face, and the scene ends. As the man walks out holding the girl underneath his arm, all emotion inside of her dead, staring at her friend, who tried to save her life, as silent tears streamed down her face.
I think at this point, Karrith is unaware that he already drawn his sword and he's just holding it. Going back in his mind to that place where everyone was dying and he was left alive, purposely to watch it all happen. Just keeps replaying as if they meshed together. I think
And
he's
he
gonna be frozen for a bit.
Go ahead.
I was just saying he's gonna be frozen for a bit.
You stand in that hallway for what feels like an hour before Eelix pops his head in the door and sees.
Sorry. We keep having fire alarms keep going off in the house for absolutely no reason.
Good. Fucking ghosts.
Look, we keep having issues with the freaking fire alarms in the house. They go off, and they either go off repeatedly. There's absolutely no reason why they're going off. And they'll go off for 10 minutes or an hour straight, or they'll just beep for 3 or 4 times in a row and then stop. And then they don't do it for a couple days, or one day in a row, they will just repeatedly back to back to back to back keep doing it. And for some reason at 10 o'clock at night there's one somewhere in the house. We can't locate which one it is either.
Have you tried
So we
changing the
can't even.
batteries?
Well, the worst part is the ones that we have are the ones that you can't change the batteries in,
Oh, gross.
and they're like the 10-year ones, and I just changed them 2 years ago because we had this issue 2 years ago, and 2 years prior to that we were having this issue. And it just so happens that it starts happening at the same motherfucking time every year. And we know that because when I change them, I put the date on them of when I've changed them. And it's like at this point now, we're like, is this just like, are we having an actual like fucking like ghost issue where it's like, we're just
Yeah, if it's
haunted by
residual.
like it's like residual the same time every year.
Mhm.
It's
crazy.
fucking ridiculous.
10 p.m. the ghost in your basement is just like, witness me! It's.
It's fucking ridiculous.
The
But,
place used to be an old frat house.
but Eelix, you pop your head in the door to see Karrith standing there like stone.
Hey, I told you this place is on repeat, and we don't want to mess around with the things that are going on in here. We want to get in and out really quickly. We don't want to dawdle here. Nothing you can do for anything here. It's like a series of paintings just going in succession. Don't get caught in your head in the house.
He just squeezes the hilt of his sword and tries to put it back in place, missing it a couple times.
And if you need more motivation to get through here, once we get to the inn, we got in a rare spot, we can get some rest, we can get the gear we need, and we can plan on taking out Malik. But we can't do that if we're going to entangle with these things here that we can't even hit with a sword. It'd be like fighting a rain cloud. Let's go.
Okay. And I follow.
All right. You all pass through the wine cask, closing it behind you, and find yourself in the Undercroft. How is everybody feeling? Do you guys want today, or do you want to stay?
I'll do what the party does. I'm good.
It could be a hop, skip, and a jump, depending on paths. Or
It could be a long slog.
As always, I go with consensus.
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing, so leave it to Karrith and Nyphix to discuss.
I'm good for a little bit longer.
Define a little bit.
Like an hour.
God, I keep forgetting daylight's getting to the point out here in Washington where it's not going to be getting dark till 9 or 10 because it's still like bright as hell right now. Couple months, like last month, it would be dark already.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, wait, how late is it? It's bright as hell outside.
Kitty cat motherfucker shit pulse. God damn it. Sorry.
That was a
And
lot
then
of
you walk
adjective
away.
in that one.
You fucking bitch. God.
I'm guessing
And she walked away.
I'm guessing the cat snuck up on you, put some paws on you, scared the shit out of you.
Well, she has the tendency where she just comes in all stealth-like, and she's white. And she just comes up right in the back corner, of your freaking computer chair here where you can't see them. And she doesn't just oh, I'm just going to jump up in your lap. No, she will stretch up, put her back paws in the back corner, and then claw into the underside of my elbow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god.
Was I the only one who just disconnected?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, if the fucking internet drops out, I'm sorry. I'll go with the party and do what they do, helping them out as much as I possibly can, and paying attention with detect magic in case I get disconnected.
Yeah, she clawed on the underside of my freaking elbow. Scared the shit out of me, and then walked away. And is sitting in the freaking doorway of my office, just cleaning herself. Like, yep, I did that.
No way.
Bitch.
Gotta love cats.
Alright. Trying to find my map for this place too, because I figured we'd get here, but I didn't fucking take the map out because I'm an idiot. Because I actually have 5 intelligence. Yeah. Good. And of course, we never keep maps in the same place. That would just foolish.
I concur.
Why would you do that?
What, concur?
No, keep maps in the same place. That make things just way too easy.
Right?
I mean, you're not wrong.
Like, don't you want to search endlessly for hours for a map? That one's not it. I don't know what the hell that one's for. Go. Go, go, go. There we go. All right. I'm going to go like that. Make life easier so I can do that. All right. As you guys enter in through the wine cask, let me scoot this over so we have more map to go on. Actually, I could probably just delete the crap that we're not going to be using for a bit, and then just go from here. Fucking reuse the buffalo. Can I not select all and delete all of this? Like, fuck. Why do we gotta make this harder than it is? apparently locking things makes it so you can't select them, even to unlock them.
That's weird.
Can you unlock them? Oh no, you said you can't. Never mind.
While you're doing that, I'll be right back.
Okay.
Hell yeah, battle music.
Mm-hmm.
I don't trust where that one just popped up, so I'm not reflecting that naughtiness. Cool.
So you said there's a paid version of this? Like...
Of Songcraft, yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Uh,
So it has like more choices, or is it just more music?
More choices, more music, playlists where you can like go in and you don't get to drag and drop anything of your own, but you get to select their music so that the music is popping up at certain times the way you want it, rather than it just playing randomly and people being like, "Hey, you could totally collect that armor," and then Dark Souls playing.
Yeah, right. It was amazing timing.
But yeah, the paid version is actually pretty cool. I like it.
Nice.
All right, Eyes is back.
Excellent. All right. And we're going to do quick selection because I'm going to be lazy.
Unacceptable.
You lazy, no way.
I don't care that that's blue. That does not bother me at the moment. That does bother me, however. Cool. Cool, and then that brings into that. Okay, that's more accurate to what it is. Because there are some creatures in this path. And as you guys wander in, I'm going to assume the marching order is quite similar to what it typically is.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can also assume that we're still trying to be stealthy.
You will take note of some chittering that's currently happening inside caverns. There is a little ramp that after you go in, descends down into almost a dugout cave-like structure. There are support beams on either side that support this structure, allowing it to descend as it does. And then chittering as if from rather large mouse-like creatures, which you can all probably correctly assume are rats. No one's using the path, so, you know, they might as well set up. At least that's their idea.
Of course it is.
There is a Y intersection, and you will see one of these rats who's currently caught something that it is eating and seems to be ripping the legs off of a spider while it is consuming it.
Gross.
I'm gonna go ahead and avoid that situation.
Alright. What would you guys like to do about the rats in particular? For the path ahead? As an eye. While I continue making my ugly dungeon.
I think I just look at Eelix to make sure we're going the right way.
I think so.
How confident are you on a scale of 1 to 10?
Not 0.
Ooh, so that also means not 10.
Yeah, like, how confident am I here?
You've never been in the Undercroft before, but this definitely should be the path of least resistance, and a couple of rats aren't the biggest concern. Yeah, sure, they're huge, but, you know. You've dealt with huge worms recently, and that's kind of higher on the pecking order of crazy bat shit.
Yeah.
And smelling the wine, you can probably tell how Oyson Manor got secret shipments through here.
How?
Essentially using this little secret underground.
Oh! I thought there was like some like closed system like with pipes or something. My mistake.
It's all good.
All right. Well, I guess we should continue. Let's not dawdle.
For the most part, you guys are hidden.
Cool.
So it really depends if you want to sneak past the rats or kill them just in case.
I mean, we can sneak past, and if they engage, just have things prepared.
Yeah,
On that note, I will prepare a spell, and it will be Aggressive Thundercloud.
I'm good to sneak past these rats, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, I don't think rats are really going to be our big problem.
Fine with me. You just took a flying creature and put it underground, so...
Calm down, you can't be flying around down here.
Oh, I did too want to like
Just
get in and out quick. I didn't want to spend a lot of time down here.
I'm now just imagining like the equivalent of a moth trying to like find the window. It's like
Harassing me while I poo. Not an easy task, I assure you. It's like, god damn it, I had plans.
Yeah, well, the best laid plans are often fall to pieces with at contact with the enemy.
Alright. Map is damn near done at this point. Oh no! Part of the map is obscured by bullshit.
Oh no! Bullshit!
Done.
I have a plus 25 against bullshit, I should tell you. I keep myself as bullshit proof as I can.
Alright. So let's see how well you guys are.
the only one that's probably going to have issues with the rats is probably Scab.
Well, maybe he can communicate with them in his like rat language, and they'll be able to understand it and let us pass if we should aggro them.
Rat language?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe there must be one.
In this, all things are possible. Alright, so you guys have wandered past the first couple sets of rats. They don't seem to have bothered with you or enticed with you. The rather large size of them is a bit alarming, but past that, they seem to be minding their business as long as you mind yours. You see two pathways. Neither one typically matter much, but will determine based on the path that you go if you'll encounter another rat roll. So left or right.
Which one
which way?
seems more in the direction of the town?
Yeah, that's a good question. Who has the best sense of direction?
Survival check is probably what would be used. So whoever has the best survival can do it.
Yeah, that ain't me.
I think that's me. I don't know. That's 4 added on. You realize if I roll this.
I know, my perception is only giving me a 14 just practically like trying to feel any wind or anything from the hallways, see if there's anything.
Let me give it a shot.
Whoa! See, y'all shouldn't have let me roll that.
What was it?
That was a 1.
Oof. Survival is decaying.
I got a 16.
All right. So with your survival checks, I gave you 2 more rat rolls. As rats aren't too typically big of a problem. Not going to worry about them unless you actually piss them off.
Mhm.
With that, I would say with Razzik 16, you guys hit another double entry, and as you do, both these paths look remarkably the same, but the one on the right, this one here in particular, has a bit more heavily ridden wheel tracks, whereas the left side is more foot traffic.
Well, looks like we found our path.
Wheel tracks.
Means trade went through here.
Yeah.
Yep. To the right we go. Ho!
Keep your voice down, Razzik.
Oh yeah. My bad.
Bitches, come at me! All right. So, you all proceed to move through the next part of the area, and you come along a door. This door has a small circle inscribed on it.
I'll go ahead and review the circle.
Oh shit!
Hey, you do.
You see that?
I know who made this sigil.
Okay.
It's a +9 to that, if that matters at this point.
Jesus.
There we go. Found it. Okay.
Oh, whoops. Didn't mean to do that.
So, the riddle on the door says, an eye in a blue face saw an eye in a green face. That eye is like to this eye, said the first eye, but in low place, not in high place. It's one of 3, so if you don't like that one, you can for another one.
No, just trying to think about what that means.
Yeah, I hate puzzles. I stand there.
He
and
just walks
ow.
back the trail lines like, nope, go back to the footwork.
I'm just muttering under my breath. Fucking stupid puzzles.
So
Can I make an
blue eye,
intelligence
green eye.
check to see if I can help them figure it out?
Riddles are more a challenge of the player than the character sheet.
Well, I don't like that, so fucking change. I don't like puzzles.
Well, can I hear it one more time?
Sure. An eye in a blue face saw an eye in a green face. That eye is like to this eye, said the first eye, but in low place, not in a high place. That one's probably the most difficult out of them.
Yeah, because it makes me wonder if it's the words. And something to do with eye placement. But if you guys do want to go for another one, I'm just still thinking about it.
I have no ability to add anything to this conversation.
But there are 9 of these riddles and 3 orbs. If you get 3 questions right, the door will open.
So we just have to get a third of it correct.
The wall next to the door is made of what?
Essentially cave wall.
Why don't we just dig the side and push the door out of the way?
I don't think that's gonna work here, Razzik.
Why not? Have you tried it? Have you ever tried anything like that?
Do you have the equipment on you to do so?
I have hands.
Then start digging.
I do. You know what? I start digging.
All right. You begin
Just
scraping
need a
your
paddle.
fingers. You begin scraping your fingers along the hard rock wall. Small
You said-
pebbles begin forming at your feet.
Oh, it's rock? I thought it was like...
It's cave wall.
let me see if I have anything. Dig.
Go for the next one.
Alive without breath, as cold as death. Never thirsty, ever drinking. All in male, never clinking.
Yeah, I'm bad with these.
Here, I'll give you guys an easy one. All of
That
these,
first one sounds so fucking familiar, though.
all of these
Why
describe
have I
some,
heard that before?
all of these describe some sort of an object or thing, but it's usually just one word. So here's probably the easiest out. A box without hinges, key, or lid, yet golden treasure inside is hid.
Oh, I've heard that before. Smash the box? Question mark?
This is an easy one. So it's just a box?
A box without hinges, key, or lid, yet golden treasure inside is hid.
This is when my stupidity takes the front seat.
Can I like make like an ability score check?
Actually, I'm going to take Death's idea, and I will allow a roll basically to determine what, if any, type of hint you may get. Only one person may roll for each puzzle.
What kind of a check is it?
Just a straight up d20. If you want to add your character sheet into this, I would say history.
No, yeah, history or street knowledge.
I would say
These
for the
could
first-
just be.
For the first puzzle, survival would work.
Okay, here we go.
For the second puzzle, survival would work as well.
I feel like I'm so close, but I don't know how correct it would be for the first one.
13.
And are you going for number 1, 2, or 3?
I'm going for number 1.
Number 1. Puzzle once more. An eye in a blue face saw an eye in a green face. That eye is like to this eye. Said the first eye, but in low place, not in high place.
Is
And
it
you
a
begin
flower?
You begin thinking that this might have something to do with essentially the sky and maybe galaxies, or types of system elements in galaxies. Something inside of a system.
So a blue face.
I need you to do me a huge favor. Because you keep repeating them and my brain gets like halfway through it and it's like, I've lost the other half.
It feels like it's a flower to the sun.
What'd you just say?
A flower to the sun is what it feels
Correct
like.
answer is the sun, and one of the orbs lights up. An eye and a blue face, you could see from the Earth.
Daisy?
No, the answer is the sun.
Oh, it was correct. Okay, sorry. I thought you were saying there was more to it. I was like, what?
Nope, you got it.
Okay.
So one orb lights up.
That sounds so familiar, though. I feel like I've heard that somewhere else before, though. Okay, so we're done with one.
You solved puzzle number one orb is lit up, you just need 2 more, and you have 8 more puzzles to pick from.
Okay.
Puzzle number 4. What has roots, as nobody sees, is taller than trees? Up, up it goes, and yet never grows.
It'd be a mountain.
Mountain is correct. We now have 2 orbs lightened. For the 5th, voiceless it cries, wingless flutters, toothless bites, and mouthless mutters.
A bug?
An echo?
Not a bug.
It's not an echo.
You guys, you're on similar trails.
Okay.
Echo is the closest without going
Can you
over.
read it one more time, please?
Voiceless it cries, wingless flutters, toothless bites, mouthless mutters.
Is it wind?
That is correct.
Okay.
Fuck yeah! I told you, I either get it immediately or I don't get it ever.
A third
There is
orb
no
lightened,
middle ground.
and you are all free to go.
Good job, guys.
Yeah, I solved the puzzle. We gotta tell Frail.
Solved a puzzle.
It's one puzzle.
I solved
for
1 out of 9.
2024. Yeah, that's one puzzle for 2024, and there'll be no more puzzles.
Alright, cool. And I'm left behind!
No, we'll wait for you.
Technically, my friend, you solved 2 puzzles.
I
So you
did?
solved one back in the last game, too.
What did I do with that one?
Oh, you talking about that one when we did the one shot?
No, he solved... that one he didn't solve. He just kind of brute that lock. But,
Okay.
but through paramounts of frustration, he figured out that his book can modify his magic and use that to cause a beatdown. So he did 2 puzzles.
My book is fucking sweet.
In this room, essentially, it is a treasure chamber where merchants would come and display their wares. This seems more like an underground cellars area. Nothing really of note to see here. You will, if you dig around enough, 5 gold coins left hurt.
Oh, yeah, well, we should. Who wants. Well, there's 5 of us, including Scabs. Everybody gains 1 gold. I guess that's fair, right? 1 gold for me.
I keep walking.
Phew.
And then,
Yeah, while we're in this room, I'm gonna look around with detect magic also.
there's nothing particularly magic about that room. In this room, however, you will take note that this is again where people would disband carts to start moving things back up through the smaller paths. You do see a lot of rundown carts here that have been lost since disrepair, since no one uses this path to trade with Waste Manor anymore. And Razzik, you will notice that the pathway on the right is heavily warded, but nothing that seems excessively hostile.
I will let everyone know the pathway on the right is heavily warded. It doesn't seem to be like traps or anything like that, but there is something going on there, and I think it's something we should avoid. I don't know enough about the warding in this area to know why it would be placed here, but I know enough about warding spells to say that it wards off something. So
And
let's pass on something.
I will notice to Eelix, Razzik, that you guys are both picking up from that warded path the smell of lotus. As you guys have both played in alchemy a little bit, lotus is a flower of death. It grows on corpses.
Wards plus death flower smell, pass. Hard pass.
What side again was this again?
Right.
That was the right side. This one over here.
Okay. Right is kind of where we came from, correct?
Yep, that would be going back towards the original tunnels.
Yeah, I
Or
don't-
left is the path of least resistance. Continuing
Yeah,
process.
so let's keep heading left.
All right.
That's my vote.
I don't see why to go against it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. As you all proceed left, you will then emerge in the bottom of the bottom barrel. You will have a door open, and greeting you once more is John Epcot.
I'm going to give him a little bit of a wave. Got a room?
Two.
Two?
We had guests move at the same time you came in, so you're being spoiled today. Hope you're happy.
That's good. And you kept our arrival secret, correct?
No worries here. It'd be bad money if I started letting things slip through the cracks.
Okay. Well, we'll head up to our rooms and get situated.
Yeah, that sounds better than finding anything.
He'll proceed to lead you up, brings you to your rooms, however you guys decide you want to split it up. The rooms are basic, bare necessities. Simply a desk, a dresser, a bed, that's it. Each room has two of each. They're homely, if anything, but, you know, better than the wilderness and grass and rocks.
I think this is all up to your decision because I know I'm still inflicted.
Yes, that's very true.
Nyphix at this point, she's just gonna go, yes, let's go, Karrith. You and I.
Alright. So, Eelix and Razzik to one room, and Karrith and Nyphix to the other. I figure, if anything, we can have some small conversation. End this session off with a whimper, and not a cliffhanger like I've been doing.
Works for me.
So, with that, Eelix and Razzik, you find yourselves hanging in the room, the wormless room as it would. And this journey has been long and hard. Enemies on the horizon, but finally a bit of respite. Do you guys talk about anything?
I got nothing in the tank at the moment, personally.
I'm feeling rather worn out from this entire situation. Before laying down, I cast Prestidigitation to clean the beds and pillows and everything here thoroughly.
Alright.
And then unsurreptitiously collapse onto the bed and head directly to sleep.
Which brings up a question for Eelix. What do you do with the goo egg?
The what?
The goo egg.
You know, honestly, I don't know. I haven't really gave that much thought. Like, to be completely honest, like, I totally forgot about it.
That's twice now. You're a bad dad.
Yeah. I guess I'm just, like, keeping it someplace safe and warm on me.
So, as a DM, have you ever sat there and your players get some stuff and you're just like, sessions later, like, Why aren't you using that stuff that you got? Why is this not happening? I would so not be that player. And then you start playing and you thing that you got about.
Yeah, I had given my players a clear glass, one of my players a clear glass ball that had a bunch of like smoke in there and a little bit of light, depending if you shook it or not. When you held it, the light and the smoke would do stuff, and it changed based on who was holding it. Alignment was what made it change, and nobody used the damn ball the entire campaign. They just thought it was this cool little toy when it was something else entirely. I'm like, you guys went damn near 20 levels without ever using that item and just playing with it like it was a toy. It was a contained gate spell. And depending on who broke it, it gated in a different extraplanar creature to his system.
Oh, sick.
Yeah. If the cleric had used it, it would have gated in a solar.
Pretty powerful.
Nice.
Yeah. Can't remember what the rogue would have been, but it was something from the demi-plane of shadows. The fighter would have gotten some kind of archon. There was a different creature I had planned for each of the characters, depending on who threw and broke it. Yeah. I keep forgetting I got the egg, mostly because I keep forgetting to mark it on my character sheet.
Mark it on your character sheet right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have been wandering through this campaign, picking things up like a guys. You haven't played with any of it.
Yeah, I'm approaching the game like I play Skyrim. I'll need it later. I'm saving these 500 wheels of cheese, god damn it.
You just
Before we
sound like a statue on stone.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Doc?
Can I make a scroll?
Yeah. You have plenty of time to make a scroll for the night.
I'm going to make let's see. I'm gonna make a Scorching Ray scroll.
Sick.
Yeah, I'm gonna write it on my sheet too.
Alright. Alright, well. In which case, Karrith and Nyphix's room. What is going on there? Nyphix racked in pain from the acid. Karrith still haunted by visions of the past. And worms.
Everything just crawls to the surface like these worms. Ugh. Yeah, I think once enter the room, I try to affix myself to more the corner. If I have to even like shove a bed over in that direction, but I'm also thinking of the possibility of other people having to lay here after me that he doesn't even know if taking a bed would be wise. I think in this moment he goes ahead and checks on Nyphix, makes sure everything's situated with her.
As you go to check in, you're gonna see me kind of plop down on the bed, worn down, and you're gonna see me kind of cast delay pain on myself, so that way I can at least get 4 hours of sleep. Uninterrupted sleep, hopefully, without being in pain all night, tossing and turning.
Alright.
Just kind of wave of relief kind of washes over for a little while.
Malik's here.
Somewhere.
Eelix is right, and he's just been hopping between places and clans. How did we never notice?
I honestly don't know.
When things are going well, your perception of the people who are involved with that tends to be skewed.
The walls are very thin.
That's what I figured. I was like, the walls are pretty thin, as soon as I asked that question.
Oh shit. I'm alright. I'm fucking
That's
fine.
alright, no worries. That's why I look at it.
Yeah, it was like, what the fuck is he doing? Crazy.
I just wonder why we were the downfall. What did he give up?
I'm more concerned about what the soldiers and the general, their part to play in all this is. They seem to enjoy their gift. It's gonna be like, you're just gonna see her face just upturn into like that nasty as she says gift. Because, oh, they really think it's a fucking gift. And they seem to be everywhere with it.
So you think Malik was infected?
No. Because he touched all of us. So
he's done all this heinous for his own reason. And I have a little bit of hope maybe there would be a way to find out why. I find myself at the precipice of trying to sympathize with him, but I can't find reason to. I don't know if it's just the confliction I have in my mind right now, but I'm almost tired of being angry.
you're gonna see Nyphix now. Instead of laying down, she kind of sits up quickly, and it's gonna be a different look you see. And she doesn't look over at you. She just kind of snaps up and goes, "No, but I'm angry now." And I'm not tired. I think it's time that I think it's time we start cleaning house of these problems.
I just want us to be able to survive. And I feel like every time I went in head on, I just get everyone else hurt. So I just don't know what I'm being angry over anymore. That starts playing in the
That's
next
hilarious.
So funny. Suddenly you're feeling better, less somber.
Right.
Like you wanted to end.
Well, I can tell you I'm angry over the fact that somebody decided to choose for me that I needed to live forever. I'm a Strix. I don't live forever. I'm not meant to.
I know I'm young, but I hate the idea that there's going to be a lot of good people I will see alive and then dead long before I even feel age.
Well, we'll get you fixed.
Wasn't much talk
And,
about the worms. Talking about my heritage.
Well. Once you are fixed, you'll at least have an end. And we'll make sure it's not like whatever is currently happening with myself. We'll make it at least a little bit more bearable. Hopefully easier.
Hopefully your situation is something that we can take care of over time. Corrosion has to heal at some point. There can't be something left of them forever.
All I know is, even if I have a short time left, I plan to take out every last one of them on my way out.
I can agree to that.
And with that, the night grinds to a close. You finally all get some rest. And when we set out in the morning, we have plenty to thank on and do. From finding a cure for Nyphix's thing, to seeing if any of our underworld can outfit us with some better materials, to maybe even taking some revenge on Malik and Kurtz, who seem to be in town. Who knows if Combs is here too, but you at least confirmed two. An assassination, conversation,
Capture and torture session.
same thing. Only time will tell.
Until the screaming starts.
And it's at that where we will leave the Tree of Ravens for time.